And for almost 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Coming up this year.
Do we know our anniversary?
February.
February is.
I mean, you don't really need to give a shit about us, but if you're interested, you know.
If you're looking to have a good time.
Exactly. We provide...
we provide a service.
We provide.
Well, I know Jordan does,
Yeah.
but it has nothing to do with music.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
hey, you know, skin flute.
Yeah.
We provide the fun, man.
Yeah.
You guys do provide the fun. Every time I've seen you guys play live, it's a crazy party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How was this experience playing in the studio different than your live shows when you have a huge audience? Because it's huge.
It feels a lot safer.
Thousands.
It is big. I
appreciate it.
It is big. You guys pull a crowd.
Fuck yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, for Long Beach, you know, I mean, to be honest, yeah. I mean, to see the audience grow over the last few years has been awesome. Yeah. I mean, we had our album release in LA, and we had a lot of people out there, you know, and that wasn't, and to be, you know, to start in Long Beach and now to grow a little bit further outside our, you know, parameters, it's exciting. But I guess, you know,
the difference
with what you're asking,
I feel like the difference in the studio is it's a little more chill, where like it feels more like a practice, you know, like us just kind of jamming for our friends and hanging out, you know. Like, there's a cool thing playing live with so many people that the energy, you know, it's
exactly
like, that changes it, you know, like
right.
That makes you want to step up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think, and you have more fun. You know, I was saying last night that it seems like I think the adrenaline's so gnarly that like beer is just doesn't affect. Like I'm like just chugging it, and I'm like I feel fine.
Yeah.
What the hell?
There's been shows I played like completely sober.
Yeah.
But because of the energy of the people,
exactly,
I feel like I'm fucking drunk.
Yeah,
like
it's
wasted.
it's the adrenaline.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like that just brings another side of us out. You know, that it's hard to even capture that on, you know, even just recording our record. You know, it's we try, you know, but the energy is just it's.
You can't substitute it. You
can't.
So what I have to say about the Long Beach scene, as far as I know it, as of recently, because I've been doing shit around here, and we were talking about this before. Yeah. That you know, I've been familiar with all the people that have come and gone, that have done stuff in Long Beach that were really great. A lot of them just went away.
Yeah.
And that happens. And so, and I was part of that. Like, I just kind of went away, too, to kind of do my own thing. Upon coming back, one of the things that I realized was the new scene in Long Beach is a lot more reckless.
Oh, for sure.
A lot more of that punk rock vibe.
Yeah.
Right? And the few bands that I've noticed that are kind of holding it all together, well, there are other ones that we know who they are, but you are also...
you guys are definitely in the thick of that.
You're a part of the fabric of what is happening right now in Long
Beach. Take shots on the whale. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. County fairs at the mall, shopping mall.
I want to actually bring up what you were asking, like you were saying about our audience and like the growth.
Yeah, how did that happen?
You know, because
Yeah.
because like if I'm being real, you know, to be super real, like.
Can you be real?
Son, be real, son.
Are we being real then?
Nigga tried to kill my father.
Okay, now I'm gonna like turn the corner and you guys are gonna be like, oh fuck, this is getting real.
Be real, son.
No, we so over quarantine and we were playing these shows like in the middle of the street or just like at the park or in our living room, it didn't matter. We released an album and recorded a full length album, and it was our first full length, and we did it with our bandmate, our brother Chaz. Yeah, and he ended up he's the founder, like Chaz and I.
Oh yeah.
You know, kind of. I feel like we're kind of like. I love you guys, but we the aesthetic. And then we slept in the same studio apartment, shared a bed.
Yeah.
We kind of spent we were attached to the hip. You know, we weren't in relationships. Our relationship was the band and us, and I spent so much time with him and writing music and just doing all sorts of crazy shit, and then finding these guys and coming together, and then immediately after we recorded a record and being a band for just a year and a half, he passed away. Yeah. And it lit a fire under our ass, but it was crazy, man. It's the amount of love that people showed us, not only in our community, but like from states away, Illinois. Oh, wow. Like we have these kids in Chicago that love the Sleeperz, you know, and people in Australia, you know, and they know about Chaz and they know about our band, and it was an influx of all these punk rock kids just through the internet, man. So it was already the wacko thing that was happening, and then all of a sudden Chaz passed away, and he was a big part of wacko because he was like their hype man. He would wear this pink helmet.
Oh, that's who
Chaz.
Well, you know what? I never met him, but I know exactly who he was.
Yeah, he's iconic.
Go to you guys, that guy would really fuck shit up.
For real.
Know?
And so he was like part of that in a way, and then he was part of our band. So he passed away, and it was like this huge thing. And then I guess, you know, through that, it's a beautiful thing. You know, it's like something so tragic can happen, and then I know it's exactly what he would want, you know, to happen out of something, you know, out of his death, man. You know, people got to listen to our album.
Well, you had a Chaz Fest. So I had the luxury of meeting him one time at the studio. And he was, I don't even remember our interaction. It was probably just us sharing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he was just the nicest dude. Like, he had this aura about him.
Yeah, man.
Being just the sweetest guy. And then soon after I met him, and I was like, oh, this Chaz, it was in my head too. Before any of this happened, before he died, I was like, that guy was cool. I'm glad I met him. I'd like to see that guy. You know, I'd like to see him around. I'd like to hang out with him. Then he passed away. I didn't realize the influence
that he had.
I didn't realize
until
that
afterwards.
either.
To this day, man.
And you guys had a
really
Chaz Fest, which was a festival dedicated to him.
Yep, and all the bands that, you know, that we're all just a community and best friends with.
And so he was a big force in Long Beach, but also the Sleeperz and your sound. So the songs that you guys are playing and the stuff that's on your record, how much of that was you and Chaz and your collaboration?
Well, we just came out with an album
called Chaz,
dedicated to him.
That's the name of the record.
Yeah,
Chaz.
Okay. And there are a couple songs on there that we were working on. There's actually one that 4 days before he passed away, we were in the studio working on the album, and I had a voice memo of him doing this pitch harmonic, and I swear, man, when he passed away, one of the first things I thought about was, how am I going to do that pitch harmonic?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
And it was, I know that sounds weird, but it was like that was our relationship.
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
it was,
and that's how he was. Dude.
You know,
like, he's just like the music.
yeah,
man.
exactly. And it was like,
The music.
and
man.
I remember
Yeah.
when he passed away. I remember when Jordan came to the house, and all I could think about was, are they gonna still want to keep doing this? And I swear, man, as soon as I think it was Jordan, or it might have been Alec. And I was like, do you? And it didn't have to even finish the question. It was just like, of course. What are you talking about? You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then from there, it was like all I could think about was writing. All we could think about was recording an album for him, and then we did it, man. You know,
So how long were the three of you guys in a band with Chaz?
a year and a half.
A year, but it started with just you and Chaz.
Well, it was actually.
Well, let's go back then.
That's-
How did the Sleeperz come to be?
Well, me and
Because-
Alec actually.
Okay, it started
Yeah.
with you two.
They
Okay.
they fell asleep.
And we woke
One
up and
had
all of
a
a sudden
prophetic dream
we were
over
here.
there.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's I was recording music on my own, and I was trying to figure out who I could, start a band with, and I just recorded an album by myself and had these songs, and I played all the instruments on it, and I was just like, I was bored playing by myself. And I was eager to find people to play with. And then Alec and I kind of met each other in the parking lot of the studios we practice in, and we just kind of started talking. And it wasn't even about starting a band. It was just like hanging out, talking, and whatever.
That's what happens.
You
with
know?
Alec.
Yeah. And then it was just like, and then we just one night we were at 4th Street Vine, and It was like I was making a pitch. I was like, oh my God, I like this girl, and I don't know what to say.
That was your feelings for Alec.
For Alec.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna finish my wine here, and I'm gonna just go up to him, and I'm gonna be like, do you want to start a band?
Hey, babe.
Yeah.
Hey, so Alec, when Landon
Were you-
was seductively drinking his wine, I don't know what was
Yeah,
happening.
licking his lips and looking at you straight in the eyeballs.
What's your perspective on this story? Because you're the
Yeah.
He was polishing his bass.
I didn't know initially. Well, I had talked to you outside of the studio a couple times, and there was, so I knew you already, but I don't think I had heard your music up until that point. So at that point, I remember this conversation at Vine when you were like, "You want to like get together and try out starting a band?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll give it a shot." Like at that point, I was very much like, "Yeah, I'll give it a shot." I had no idea like what it was.
But I knew
like. And then
Alec
you
was a
played me your
sick
music.
bass player from playing in a
Oh,
band
no,
called Hit
how?
Priest.
Oh, Hit
Oh yeah, we.
Hit Priest.
And he always wore these
Yeah.
fancy button-up shirts.
Hearing it in the studio, getting to hear Alec, like what he's doing is like fucking A, dude. You're like,
Yeah.
this thing.
Most of the time
Yeah.
when you're playing, you can't really hear it, but you
Yeah.
can feel it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
Yeah,
when
it's
you
like we
get-
know what's
yeah.
going on, but dude, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
He rips, dude.
And
So
this
I
other guy-
was telling Alec, I was like, I have this friend. He's gonna live in my apartment. He shreds,
Yeah.
and it was Chaz. But
Jazz.
it was Chaz.
Yeah, jazz.
Mystical Chaz. But before that, before even we met up with Chaz, we had another drummer.
Jordan, were you the last person to join?
Yeah.
No,
What
you're
were
good.
you doing at the time? Were you in
Well,
a band when they approached
Yeah,
you?
so
or-
so I was in the band Freeman's Dead, and we had kind of chilled out on that, and I think it was like, I was in like a bunch of bands, so I was like in this band Step Bison, I was in this band Galena.
We were jamming too.
And then we were in a
okay,
band
you
called
guys
Ego
are.
Death Trip
So yeah.
as well, and so, but it was one of those things where like it's like all the projects were kind of like figuring shit out, and so I'm a band whore. I'm like, well, let me try it out, but I always say like if I didn't like it or if it wasn't feeling it, I would have just been like, nah, it's not for me. I can't make time for this. But right away it was like, this is the shit.
Yeah.
But I will be honest, I literally showed up and I was like, I don't know about this Chaz guy, dude.
Oh, really?
No joke. Like when I first met him, I was kind of off-putted by him. And then there was one practice where he's just very excitable, right? Like, oh man, we're gonna make it. And I was like, Chaz, you're being a lot for me right now, dude. And he just goes, I was kind of like rude, and he just goes, I'm really sorry, man. I just really love you, and like I'm really excited about this, blah blah blah. And he just basically hugged me and told me he loved me. I'm like,
that was his
Yeah.
energy.
yeah. It's like, all right, like I can't be mad at you.
So we know that Chaz was a big influence
Yeah.
in the formation of the Sleeperz. Now going forward, between the three of you, and I know that you're figuring out what the fourth person might contribute.
Yeah.
But how do you compare the start of the band with Chaz I know is a big influence on what you guys are doing.
Big
now.
time.
But without him, what are you guys doing now as a 3-piece? How do you define
a
what
big
you guys
thing that I noticed with this last album was, like it's a lot heavier, and Chaz was always like heavier. And I think obviously as like an homage to him, it is like,
you guys went
fuck it, I just keep hearing heavier.
Yeah.
But then also we did do a lot more like dynamic shifts of like, there's a few really chill songs on there,
Was Chaz, was he a writer of most of the songs, or did you guys collaborate? Who writes the songs?
Okay, well, he would write like some like riffs.
Yeah.
Like on like End of Days, our first album, he wrote like a couple of the riffs. But for the most part, I'm writing like the lyrics, and I would say like majority of the songs. But I'll come to the guys with an idea, and then it shapes into this whole other thing.
Yeah,
it's like
it is a very collaborative effort.
Totally, I never tell them. I never call. Oh, this is what I want. No.
Yeah.
I'll be like, this is the riff. This is a verse. Yeah. This is a chorus, or this is a bridge, or I don't know. Like I'll just play and we'll just
jam it out.
Yeah, we'll jam it out, and it's like, and I think that has a lot to do with our success because it's like organic. It's like we get a room and it's like we're moving. You know what I mean? It's not so stagnant. Okay, wait, no. It's like no. Let's just like play out this song, and I won't even necessarily have lyrics at the time. It'll just be like gibberish, just like kind of like a melody, Sure. And then that just develops, and then boom.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man.
When you write,
and
you come up with parts, is it primarily musical in the sense that I know some musicians, they come up with lyrics and they want to put a song to it because the lyrics have a message and they want to portray. Yeah. But also I feel like a lot of, Kurt Cobain is notorious for he said that he would just write gibberish and then he would fill in the blanks.
Yeah. That's what it is. I'll sit in front of like, I'll just like plug in my guitar or whatever. It's like voice memos. I'll just sit and I'll just take a fucking bong rip to my face, man.
Right.
And I'll just sit there for an hour, and all of a sudden I'll hear it. I don't know what it is, man. Sure. I'll hear it and
like aesthetic.
Yeah.
He can't hear it.
I thought he said something. I thought he said Jordan.
No. Yeah. So, I just it's like I hear I'll like get attached to like a riff. I'll just be like, ooh, I like this, like the feel of this rhythm or this riff. And then all of a sudden the melody will just kind of come out, and then there's days where I'll sit there and it's like there's nothing, you know what I mean?
Of course.
But it doesn't matter, because it's just a process, and I enjoy it. Shit, I'm getting high. I can't really complain.
Too, like, I'll say, I'll say too, like,
you didn't really lose.
I'm like, dude, I just got stoned and played guitar, and that's not the end of the world,
It's the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I'll say too, like, a cool thing when it comes to like Landon bringing the lyrics and the riffs and all this stuff. And coming with ideas, me and Alec, while we both still write ourselves and do our things, it's like we are both really enjoy arranging. I feel like the arrangement of the song is like still a passionate part that we're about,
Totally.
And so like getting these riffs, and then it's like, oh, like what if we put this part
breaks?
Yeah,
and
it's like
and
that's the whole thing. Is it's like it feels like we are all writing it. It's
exactly.
So we know Landon's dynamic in this. As like a primary songwriter.
Yeah.
But you and Alec as a rhythm section.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And that's what you guys are live.
Yeah.
When you see that. But what people probably don't realize is behind the scenes what you guys are writing together.
Yeah.
Right? So how does I want you guys both to reflect on this. How
Don't talk. Just think. 5 minutes of just thinking. Okay, Alec?
What is that process like, writing to Landon songs?
I feel like it's just like
I've never. Yeah, what is that?
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear this answer.
For me, it's always just taking whatever Landon brings and then figuring out like how, if I was listening to this song like on Spotify or on the radio, what I would change.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
what I would be like,
That's
all right,
cool.
I'm a little bored here. Like, what can we do to like, like make it, to like spice it up right here, or like this part could maybe be a little longer or a little shorter, or what if we did, change the.
Well, and to something I'll say for Alec, like because before I had my car, he would drive me most of the time, and like at our practices and shows, bring my drum set and shit. But the music he listens to, he has a lot of pop sensibility, like.
You love NSYNC too, huh?
I love it.
But
dude.
like
I know all the
always
dance
good
moves.
music,
You and me, after
always
this.
good music, but like very pop sensible music, like that. Sometimes I wouldn't even like think like, oh shit, like this thing is really tight. So I think that's an element, because I also have that to a certain extent, but like I think he brings it in a solid way where it's like really what makes the songs kind of so people are singing along. I mean, seriously, last night fucking people were singing along, and I'm like, fuck, I forgot, like, I mean, and people I didn't know, like I'm looking out like, fuck, I've never seen that guy before, and he's singing this shit. All right, sick, like that's a badass feeling.
Right.
What's the worst part about writing songs with each other? I know there's great parts about it.
Fucking
what is the worst?
The worst part is that you have to do it every time at a show. You do something sick that's like fucking gnarly, and you play this crazy, and then it's like you got to go on tour and play that every single fucking night.
Yeah.
Like,
so if you're writing, you gotta love
fuck
it.
did I write that? Why did I write that? Why couldn't I just do it a little bit easier?
Yeah.
But that's my worst.
So what's on the horizon for you guys? What's coming up next? What's down the pipe?
Record deals and sponsorships.
Private jet.
We got a pretty cool show coming up.
Yes.
Alex's bar.
With Electric Frankenstein and Fart Barf.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
told me
I
about
guess
that
on the like bigger horizons, we are gonna try to tour within the next year.
That's the main thing.
And we're gonna press our latest album on vinyl.
Vinyl.
So press Chaz
Do
on,
some Chaz on vinyl.
push some vinyls.
Okay.
That's kind of the direction we're going in right now. We want to do a tour maybe even up to Vancouver.
Yeah.
Multiple
tours. I feel like.
That's definitely we've been a band for going on 4 years and still haven't toured. A lot had to do with COVID.
Yeah. That took a lot of wind out of a lot of people's sails.
Yeah, man.
I lost a band because of COVID.
Yeah.
So
same.
Yeah. It was a son of a bitch.
Yeah, man.
Mistake. I was born a mistake. When I can't get on, and I don't give a fuck. When I can't pay my bills, when I pop a couple pills, when I ease all my stress, when today I'm a mess. Maybe I am the problem. Maybe I am the problem. Can't control my mind now, I can't control myself. My brain's on overdrive and time is running.
I want to end on something like if you guys could give advice to a band that's just starting out, who doesn't know the ropes. That's kind of the reason why I started this podcast, because I wanted the people to understand what it was like to be in a band.
Yeah.
And like, it's not roses and like fucking, it's a party all the time like you see in 80s glam rock.
Yeah.
It's hard work.
Yeah.
So like, what is the advice that you would give to people who are just starting on bands?
Can we do a thing where we
and one thing at a time?
I want you guys to reality check.
You go first.
No, you go first, dude.
I would say to any okay. Honestly, I mean, because for real, I mean, it still happens to me, you know, where you kind of question what you're doing. You know, you're like, is this like the right decision? Is this the direction I want to go with my life? Like, you're taking a lot of risks when it comes to, I guess, security, you know. But I, as an artist, I could never live any other life. But those daunting, you know, questions always linger, and you're gonna have your good days, but you're gonna have your bad days. Mm-hmm. And I think if there's any advice I give to any artist out there on those bad days, those are the days that you gotta like push through harder, because I mean, it happened to me this past week, you know. Sleeperz, you know, I've been trying to only play once a month now, just to space out the shows. And in between these shows, sometimes I'm like, I get in this state of like, I kind of start questioning like who I am. I like lose myself in a way. And then it gets kind of weird, to be honest. But then all of a sudden I'll get together with the band and we'll play an amazing show, and it's like, this is exactly what I want to do with my life. Yeah. And so those days where you're questioning if this is the right thing, just know, you know, something's right around the corner that's going to snap you back into why you even started. Because that's what you have to remember. It's like you have to remember why you started, and you just forget a lot. Yeah. And then you have those moments and those days that are fucking beautiful. Yeah. And it makes you kind of realize that if it wasn't for those days where you were questioning if you were doing something right or not, it makes those moments sweeter. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I say, because don't get discouraged, you know. And I'm 30 years old, you know, and it took me a long time to find a group of people that I feel like I can trust and play music with for the rest of my life. And fuck, even if it took me till 40 or 50, I still would have kept looking, but I got lucky, you know. And so you just got to keep going, keep going.
Space trucking.
Yeah.